This season, keep your stories interesante, like Dos Equis, the beer whose label inspired the greatest comeback in history.
Authentic Mexican cerveza. 4.2% alcohol by volume. 1 gram protein, 0 gram fat.
Yeah, tell 'em, Coach.
12 fluid ounces.
Dos Equis, keep it interesante.
Shepard's just going to put up a 3 and knocks it down. Boyd sends it to a wide open.
Char's really good at driving. She's a really good driver for us in the forward position. She can take a lot of contact.
On the court, I love her confidence. I love her energy.
Her advantage is just her first step because she'll get like right past you just by 1 step, and she can shoot the 3. So it's like you have to play her as a guard, but then she's big and tall, so it's like she's a post player, but she's a guard in a post player body.
She's a matchup problem for other teams because she can play inside, she can step outside and make you guard her. You can't just sit back in the paint and wait for her to come to you.
Shepard from downtown.
I am from Killeen, Texas. It's a military town. My parents, they met in the military. They were stationed there. When they got out the military, that's just where they decided to continue living. I've lived there my whole life. Killeen, Texas is the kind of city where there's a lot of crimes happening, murders, drugs. We're known for violence. Playing basketball at Shoemaker High School was a challenge, so I felt like I handled playing at Shoemaker my senior year very well.
She has a great family, a sister that played college basketball. She kind of always looked up to her and wanted to follow in her footsteps.
My original plan was to get out of Texas. I didn't want to be close to home. I wanted to live life. It's actually a big deal to get out of Killeen because Killeen don't really get recruited because of the reputation. I looked at statistics. There's Corey Jefferson, who went and played in the NBA, Royce O'Neal, who went on and played in the NBA, and they both got out of Killeen, Texas. So that's when I knew, I need to buckle down on my grades, focus on school more, focus on basketball more, because at the time I was playing volleyball, and I was contemplating on if I wanted to do basketball and volleyball. My recruitment process started later than some people.
I saw Char for the first time in AAU. She was playing in a tournament. I can't really remember where it was, but I just saw this really tall, long athlete that could shoot the 3. My eyes got really, really big because I'm like, I wonder, let me look around and see what other coaches are in the gym. And so kind of took it from there.
I first got a call from North Texas. I was at work. I didn't know nothing about the recruitment process. I got a missed call and then a text message from her telling me that who she was, where she's from. That's when I knew that my time was coming.
She went on a couple of other visits to schools, honestly, a couple bigger schools. It was one of those things where, yes, she wanted to get out of Killeen, but she also wanted to be close enough where she could go and see her family whenever she wanted. She wanted a place where she could contribute immediately close to home, and so it was a match made in heaven.
When Char first came here, it wasn't hard for her to make friends, but it was hard for her to open up. After the first month, I would say she was comfortable, and then she started opening up and showing her little laughs and cracking her little jokes and stuff, so it took a while.
They were very welcoming, and they made me feel like I was at home, so I wasn't really that homesick last year. I feel like I'm more homesick this year, and I think that's only because of my niece who was born.
Char is an interesting personality because she can be really, she can laugh all the time, she can joke, she can dance.
She's really goofy. She likes to have fun, she likes to laugh.
And then there's this serious side of her where, she'll stay after and work on something that she didn't do very well in practice, or, she'll watch film.
Coming from where she was from, being a dominant player, then you kind of come to college and you got to step in a new role because everybody was dominant. Everybody was that player. Coming to college and finding your role is important. I feel like that's something that's hard about transitioning.
coming to college when you're playing against some people that are your size and maybe just as strong. You know, she kind of started to do some fadeaways and things like that, and it's like, no, your size is still good. You don't have to do that. You know, we'll find some other ways and make sure you understand how to use your gifts.
Her position, her stature, how she's built, I don't even think she knows how good she could be if she continues to figure out what her craft is and what she's good at and just defines in that. The sky's the limit, you know?
She just has that versatility. Again, the fact that she can shoot as a post player is vital, you know, for our success.
She has the potential to be MVP her senior year. She just got to stick with it.
I always try to work on my game because I'm such a versatile player. There's times where I'm going to have to guard a post. There's times where I'm going to have to guard a guard, maybe their point guard, because of how, the defense that we're in. I just always have to work on my game.
In order for her to achieve her full potential, she has to remain invested. She has to continue to put in the work, and I think she will.
Everybody's finding their way, and I feel like she's slowly, gradually finding her as a person, her as a player. For her, she just needs to leave the nest, grow, spread her own wings, make her own person, and I feel like this is a positive area for that.
When I realized I needed to get out of Killeen was end of my sophomore year. It wasn't really hard for me because I knew that wasn't the life that I wanted to live all my life. I knew that I wanted to get a degree. I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer. I knew I had a mindset of what I wanted to do with my life. So I felt like it was just my mindset that helped me get to where I am now.
For Thompson, who goes to Shepard down low, turns, gets the jumper, and it glance awkward 30. Mean Green lead. Shepard from downtown. From Townley, who gets it down low again to Shepard, and Shepard puts it back, and now we get whistles.
My goal is to be the program's all-time leading scorer and beat Coach Mitchell's record. Would it be record? Record.
This season, keep your stories interessante, like Dos Equis, the beer whose label inspired the greatest comeback in history.
Authentic Mexican cerveza. 4.2% alcohol by volume. 1 gram protein, 0 gram fat.
Yeah, tell him, Coach.
12 fluid ounces.
Dos Equis, keep it interessante.